Hola, cidadãos. I'm Druzhnik, Empress of Portugal. My main focus is trade. I want to have the largest trading empire in the galaxy. I will be focusing on peaceful relations with those who are nice to me, and not so peaceful relations with those who aren't. Expansion is not out of the question. I have a YouTube channel where I mainly play grand strategy games and games with heavy storytelling. If you like what you're seeing here, please feel free to check out my channel in the links provided in the description below. Also, feel free to snoop around the channels of the other content creators that are in this game. I hope you enjoy this series. Ciao!
And now that we have the intro out of the way, let's go quickly through the starting situation. So we have a bit smaller fleet than most nations do. At least in Europe, which means that, well, first of all, we don't use as much money for maintenance. And we are going to be expanding our navy, hopefully doubling the size in due time. Also, in terms of research, we're currently researching the smaller ration consumption, or more space-effective rations, and then improving our accuracy a little bit, and bigger guns, and boosting our innovative capabilities in our research labs. And we're also, of course, building up some troops, because having a good defense is always nice, and our economy is certainly strong enough to support expansion of army as well. And now, for the goals that we have, first of all, let's have a look at where we have holdings. We have Macau, we got Dili, then we got Goa in India, then we got Mozambique, Luanda, then Lisbon, of course, we got Cape Verde, and then we got Brazil. So our Empress has expressed wishes to have a station in South Atlantic, which will then serve as a good stopping point between Europe and India. So that is something that we will focus on our efforts to survey South Atlantic, as well as all the places that we currently have not surveyed but have colonies in, which is everything else except Gulf of Cadiz. But yes, our focus for surveying will probably be around here for the time being. A little bit around Africa as well, and India, but those are not the priorities right now. Right, and with that, I mean, we can quickly go through the navy, but it's not a huge one. I'll just click through these so you can pause and read if you want. But most of the ships are not very high rates, more frigates than ships of the line. And then a fair bit of civilian ships commandeered to, for example, ferry colonists or settlers and that sort of stuff. And we of course do also have some fishing fleets available that will probably send up either there or maybe, actually, let me quickly check that. Cadiz 7, that's a good place. What about... and that's also a good place, so we'll probably go over there actually, because that is a little bit closer. And start getting some extra rations there. I don't think we will be hurting too much in terms of fuel, as long as we... or rations, as long as we don't go around spending it too much. I mean, most of our ration production is in Europe and Brazil, so around Atlantic. We can and will of course ferry some of that fuel to India and elsewhere, just so that we can refuel our ships in there if need be. But that's about it for now, so I will see you in a bit. Catastrophe has struck. Exploring ship in South China Sea. It approached the city of Hong Kong, and since no sign of hostility was shown, it sailed to the port. But right before the ship reached the port, the coastal fortifications of Hong Kong opened fire and sunk the survey ship. So now the Portuguese officials are declaring war against the neutral powers, because this act of hostility will not stand. We made advances in making our rations fit a bit better, and thus we shall now do the same for gunpowder, and after that we'll try to make our sails better. We have researched better accuracy for our guns, and now we are about to start researching better accuracy on moving targets. We have now gotten the improvements to the gunpowder storage, so we shall now start improving our sails. One of our exploration vessels has apparently run out of rations, so we shall dispatch a rescue operation as soon as possible. And there we have it, that's the end of the year. So, let's have a quick look at our nation's situation a little bit here. So, first of all, let's have a look at the shipbuilding. So, we're currently building 1 second rate, 2 third rates, and 1 fourth rate in Lisbon. Also building a 4th rate in Rio de Janeiro. But that's about it in terms of ship production. We, like pretty much everyone else, is having some problems with our wealth, so not going to be building more ships immediately until we get this problem under control. And in terms of researches, we are currently researching the improved sails as well as the improved accuracy on moving targets. And then we're also researching the 10-pounder guns and research rate, which is going to take a while, so it's not a huge priority, but it's going to be useful. So that's in terms of research. I don't think there's anything particularly exciting that we're building, other than some fishing fleets in Rio de Janeiro, which we should actually start shipping into their correct position. And I think we may have... No, we haven't actually built any in Brazil or Belém. And then in most places it's just whatever they can build. If they can build. Now we do have 2 civilian mining companies, which are actually producing... One of them... This one actually was started on 1699 already. It does have a decent production. And it produces pretty much every resource. So we are bringing that into Lisbon, which will be put into good use. There's another one in Gulf of Cadiz, which is not producing as much. So in terms of trying to get a little bit extra money out of, we are just taxing them. So these minerals, there's not a huge amount of minerals in the first place. But those minerals will go to the civilian sector, and they'll put them into good use, I hope. Now, currently... In terms of fleet movements, there's not a huge amount of going. We are currently trying to rescue some of our exploration ships because they miscalculated the distances a little bit. But that is what happens every now and then. So we'll just have to rescue them. Luckily we do have several support ships at Lisbon available to do that, to bring in the ships back. And in terms of currently surveyed areas, we have mostly focused on the areas that we have colonies in, so... Argentina, Brazil, North Atlantic, Congo, Mozambique, Gujarat, South China Sea, and Java Sea. Now, in South China Sea, there was actually a bit of an accident. If we have a look at that real quick. So, there was actually a second exploration ship that went there. It should not have gone there, but I accidentally forgot to ban the body. So I just spawned in a new exploration ship instead, because that technically should not have happened. But I decided to be open about that. So other than potentially an officer lost, then not much else was lost. Well, actually not any crew members either, because those ships were spawned in the first place. And in terms of the mineral situation, we're getting a decent bit of minerals in total. And because we do have the trade deals with the Dutch, the Brits, and the Spanish, we'll be getting a decent boost of our income. That might actually fix our wealth problems for a little while. At least it's going to give us a bit of a buffer for the start of the year. but the next year it's probably going to be more food for us, which is going to be useful. No doubt about that. And in terms of civilian shipping, we do have one shipping line that has a colony ship and 3 freighters, which are doing a decent profit actually. Last year income is 110, which is not bad. Of course, in total, or grand scheme of things, it's actually not that huge, but it's going to be useful in the long run. And I'm sure that the civilian shipping line will be expanding soon again, because it's making a decent profit. But I think that's about it for this recap, so make sure to check out Druzhnik's channel, link is down below in the description. But we'll see you next week.